Baseball is dead.
Rest in peace.
Oh my God. What a game one of the World Series. A lot of people picking the D-backs because it's the trendy pick. How about the smart pick? How about the correct pick? How about the pick that's yet to fail us? How about them Texas motherfucking Rangers? How about Corey Seager coming in there, bottom of the ninth, 2-run tank, tie game? Hey, Seawald, be careful who you tweet about, buddy. The Texas Rangers have had my back since day one. You thought Corey Seager was going to get up to the plate and not hit a game-tying 2-run bomb to avenge me for that tweet? Foolish. Stupid. And then we go to extras? Adolis Garcia? How many times does he hit a home run in the postseason? How about every time? How about 5 straight fucking games with a home run in the postseason? How about the most RBI in postseason history? And we still got potentially 6 more games to go. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to go 6 more. But I do know that them Texas Rangers, they got a 1-0 series lead in the World Series. Woo. Oh, buddy. If this series is going to be anything like that game was tonight, I am strapped in and ready to go. I don't even want to sweep. I want it to go 7 if that's going to be the level of competition that we're going to be witnessing.
It was everything we wanted. Everything we wanted. Aside from the W at the end for the fucking Diamondbacks, it was everything we wanted. Everybody was so worried about a potential lopsided World Series. Is this going to be done in 4 or 5? If so, is it going to be boring, or any of these games going to be intriguing whatsoever? Yeah. Enough said. Game 1, walk-off city. I'd say that's living up to the billing that everybody was so worried about. They answered the bell. This was, though, look, you can say for the Diamondbacks, for the Rangers, for anybody playing in a game 1, you got to win game 1, right? The way that this game was unfolding, the way that this game was panning out, if you're the Diamondbacks, damn, you needed to win this game. Damn, you needed to win this game.
Are the snakes alive or not?
Oh,
that's what everyone's thinking. Are the snakes alive? Because you just said, I thought this was going to be a blowout. Is it a blowout? Because
you can't
we're looking at these two teams. One team looks better than the other team on paper.
You can't let Evaldi.
Obviously, close
what
game.
happened? Like if Evaldi's giving up 4, 5, and regardless of him hanging around, if you're in the lead when that happens, you've got to capitalize on that. You can't walk away from having to spend and fire some of the bullets that you had to with your bullpen and not win that game. Because now what happened? It's early exposure for Ginkel, Thompson, and Seawald. Ginkel, a lot of pitches. Thompson, job done. But Seawald, exposure, pitches, damage, and that's all in game 1. So you've seen
game 1.
You've seen Zach Gallen perform a little better this time around, which we said we were going to need to see if they were going to have a chance.
It was about the same. He just didn't give up tanks.
Well, so like that's he needed to give them the ability to stay in the game. He needed to give them the ability to win the game
when he was getting shellacked.
But
he kept them in the game. He was just giving up bombs. Now he's not giving up bombs.
But he, with Evaldi not pitching well, that was the perfect recipe to win a game that Zach Gallen was pitching. Because that's just not been the case, right? He has not. They just haven't won when he's pitched. So here you go. Here was your chance to do that. But it didn't happen. And we highlighted the starting pitching and where we thought the matchup favored, the bullpen and where we thought the matchup favored, and then the lineup and where we thought that favored. And what reared its head was the lineup at the end of it all. Because it was the bullpen, and we've talked about this. You're going to need all 3 of those guys and maybe some change to click. And that is asking a lot day in, day out. Not everybody's going to be hot every time you call down there. And that's what happened tonight is Seawald not so much.
Things are heating up in the ballpark, and the chase to crown a champion is on. With DraftKings Sportsbook, you won't miss a moment of the baseball action. New customers can score $200 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5 on baseball. Plus, all customers can take a crack at a sweet payday with DraftKings same-game parlays. String together multiple bets from a single game for your shot at a major payout. So what are you waiting for? Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code JARED. New customers can score $200 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5 on baseball. Only on the DraftKings Sportsbook app with promo code JARED. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In Massachusetts, call 800-327-5050 or visit gamblinghelplinema.org. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Kansas, call 1-800-522-4700. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, 21 plus in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after insurance, opt-in, and 10-plus leg requirement for 100% boost. Eligibility, wagering, and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/baseball terms. One of the other things that we highlighted was that the Snakes needed to be menaces on the base paths. Dallas tonight, game 1, this was the first time that the D-backs lost a game this postseason in which they stole a base.
Yep.
They were 6-0.
Mm-hmm.
They were
How many did they
6-0
steal?
in postseason games.
How many did they steal? They had at least, 3?
No, I thought they only had 2. They have 2?
Who got us the tacos?
Cattell. Marte.
Could tell.
Yeah.
But I mean, the D-backs early on, when it looked like the D-backs were going good, and everyone, and the first half of the game, they had Perdomo laying down bunts, stealing bags.
Well, the Leody Taveras figure 8 out in center field that landed Corbin Carroll at third base, and I mean that was big. That's where you felt like, oh shit, is this what's going to happen? Because it was perfect. I'm so glad that John Smoltz said what I had said on the podcast prior, which was it's almost like the Diamondbacks are going to have to use their aggressiveness and put the ball in play as a way to outslug their opponent, right? And look what happened. That's how
that's how they did. They small balled the fuck out of them, but they still lost, and that's kind of where you kind of get scared if you're the D-backs because.
Well, they lost because Seawald stumbled. That's why they lost. That's why they lost. It's that simple.
Those were the first runs he gave up all postseason. Like, they should have won that game.
But he's also, who did he stumble against, though?
Well, look,
the best hitter in the league other than Shohei Ohtani.
The walk, and this is the thing, is you could see it. That's why I tweeted the group, or texted the group. That walk, you could tell. That wasn't just like, oh, damn, I missed my pitch. That sucks. It was... Buddy, I just put a guy on base facing this fucking monster. This is just the last thing I needed to do. Damn it. Damn it. You could see it. You could see it as soon as he threw that last pitch. And then
you could tell.
And then Seager, I mean, in classic Seager fashion, no waiting around. Throw me that fucking mistake early. Yeah. Boom. Latris.
You could tell Marte for sure.
We heard you, Joe.
To me, that was an absolutely beautiful baseball game. Obviously you get a walk-off home run in the World Series. That happens a handful of times in a lifetime. That's cool. But the way we got there was just so awesome, given the way that we've gotten to this point in the postseason to begin with, because you guys have basically said it in bits and pieces. That game was going more or less perfectly according to plan for the Arizona Diamondbacks for a good chunk of it, with the exception of Gallen not being lights out like you'd want any starting pitcher to be. Everything else was falling into place. You guys talked about how the bullpen lined up: Thompson, Mantiply, Ginkel, Seawald. It was push button stuff for the D-backs, right? That's how you'd want it to line up. You guys were talking about the small ball putting pressure on. I don't usually take notes during the games, but the third inning just jumped off the page for a variety of reasons. And yes, Taveras took a terrible angle on that ball, but to get to that point, it was the Alec Thomas infield hit, right? Where that was entirely based on his speed.
Chopper over the pitcher's.
Yeah. That was 100% him putting the pressure on and getting on base because of his speed. You had the Carroll triple, quote unquote, right? Which whatever. Like,
well, after that, Thomas went first to third on the knock too, right?
Yeah, and then there was the decision to throw home on Carroll, right, too, which is like probably a smart baseball play most of the time, but not on Carroll.
But against Carroll.
But I mean, what a good base running play that was. I mean, he smoked that ball right at him. They threw it right fucking to him, and he was there.
There was, I mean, like the only thing you could have asked for is a stronger throw and a perfectly targeted throw.
It was,
and that's because it's against Corbin Carroll.
I'm glad Joey said that, though. It was great base running, but you could make a case that Corbin Carroll was the best base runner in MLB this season when you take everything in base running into consideration. Like
they're running contact there.
But and also
they're running contact, so he's gone.
And the scouting report has to be, and I'm not like whatever, I'm not criticizing the decision to throw home necessarily. I'm making the point that like Corbin Carroll's speed caused that, and his base running caused that situation, and that third inning was a microcosm of everything we've talked about with the D-backs and why they're successful. And then you got right up into the point where Sewald gave up the home run to Seager. Everything right up into that point was all D-backs. And he's their best reliever. They had him in the spot that they wanted. And listen, man, he dismissed the guy right before Seager. So it's not like there were signs that the struggle was going to happen. And Seager jumped that fastball that got too high and presumably not far enough in, right? And ended up in the hot zone. But
well, is that going to be the difference between these two teams? Because like you said, Jay, they played the fucking perfect game, bunted, stole, fucking base running perfectly, but it came down to the Texas Rangers hit 2 home runs, and the Diamondbacks hit 1 measly fucking solo shot. The team that hits the most home runs always wins most of the time.
We talked about that on the last podcast.
And this is
the team.
This is a perfect example of that.
The team that out homers the other is what was it? 21-4 entering this game, and now 22-4. It's hard. It's hard to win baseball games when the other team hits more home runs than you.
Yeah,
and that's almost like a chicken or the egg kind of conversation, because you could say, well, the team who hits the more home runs is going to be the team that wins the series. And then you could say, well, the team that pitches better could very well be the team that wins the World Series or wins these games. Because if Sewald keeps that in the yard, it's Paul Sewald having got the job done. It's not the Texas Rangers having hit more home runs. And it's 1-0 Diamondbacks. And them winning the game the way they have. This is what's kind of fun about this, is because this is how the Texas Rangers have won their baseball games, right? This is what their lineup does. And this is what the Diamondbacks lineup does as well. So it's basically 1-0 Texas Rangers by virtue of how they typically win these games. And in the postseason, does it lend itself to favor a team that creates more offense via the home run than a team that just consistently is able to create offense because they apply pressure? Like, does that type of game or that brand of baseball pan out well or better over the course of 162? But in a condensed season, in a 7-game season, if you will, is just the looming, ever-present power threat the one that's going to win out. I mean, that's what I think this series provides. And and we have numbers that kind of tell us how that goes.
Yeah, I mean, I think the answer is that the team that hits more home runs is more often than not going to pan out better, regardless of what the format is, regular season or postseason. Like, not to be reductive, but like you were like, if Sewald doesn't give up the home run, then what we're talking about is Paul Sewald closing the door and not the Rangers out homering them, which still would have been true without that home run, right? Which was your point. But like, that's the whole point about being able to hit home runs as a team, is that the game can change on only one swing, right? Like, and I know that sounds like, oh, no shit, but like, that's why like it was so hard for that Guardians team a couple of years ago that everybody loved to actually get anywhere in the end, because you had to string 3-4 hits together in a single inning before anybody could score any fucking runs. And that's why the home run's so beautiful, because Seager changed the complexion of the game, as Garcia did, with one swing.
And on the mound, that translates into velocity in the later innings. If you're an offense that has the ability to hit that homer, change the game with just one swing, how do you combat that? With stuff in the zone, the ability to compete in the zone. And would you rather have 94, 95 in the zone? Would you rather have 98, 99 in the zone? What would you rather have? I don't think anybody is going to go, you know what? I'll live with the 94, even if 99 is an option. No, nobody's going to say that. So that's kind of what that looks like from a pitching perspective, is if you're a team that has the ability to run somebody out there that has that overpowering stuff, maybe that gives you the fighting chance against a team that has the ability to change it with just one swing. That wasn't what the Diamondbacks were working with, though.
Even under the bright lights of the playoffs, Blue Moon Belgian White Belgian-style wheat ale is the beer that's made brighter. Blue Moon was born in a ballpark for baseball fans, first brewed at Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. From its bold, refreshing flavor to its beautiful, bright color, Blue Moon is as iconic as America's pastime. I'd love to say that Adolis Garcia and Corey Seager are probably clanking Blue Moons in the clubhouse right now, but with Game 2 tonight, I don't think that's the case. But that doesn't mean you can't enjoy an ice-cold Blue Moon during the World Series. That's what I've been doing, and it goes great watching these World Series games. With its refreshing flavor with Valencia orange peel for a subtle sweetness and hints of coriander, Blue Moon Belgian-style wheat ale is a one-of-a-kind beer that's made brighter. It's carefully crafted and full-flavored with refreshing notes and a smooth, creamy finish. Blue Moon was brewed by baseball, so it's the perfect match for the playoffs. The crack of a beer, the pour, the first sip of that bold flavor. Blue Moon always feels like a special occasion. Best served with its signature orange garnish to showcase its beautiful bright color. A beer this good only comes around once in a blue moon, but you can enjoy it all through the playoffs. Brighten up the baseball playoffs with Blue Moon Belgian-style wheat ale. It's one of a kind every time. Check out shop.bluemoonbrewingcompany.com for fresh baseball merch and visit get.bluemoonbeer.com/rocket to find Blue Moon delivery options. That's get.bluemoonbeer.com/rocket. Blue Moon, made brighter. Celebrate responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado Ale.
And the other thing, too, was that they mentioned this on the broadcast about how since the Rangers were playing from behind, once the game got to extra innings, it's like we still got all of our big guns. Like you already had to use yours because you thought that you were shutting the door here in the 8th and the 9th, whereas we're playing from behind. Like here's Will Smith in the 9th, and we've still got our guy. They didn't even have to use Chapman in this game.
Or Spores.
Yeah. So, I mean, like it's from this point forward, I mean, just obviously it's advantage Texas Rangers because they have home field advantage. They protected that. They have the series lead, but just because of the bullpen usage, the fact that Dallas mentioned this earlier, when you've got Ginkel out there, and it wasn't like he wasn't wild. He was getting grinded. Like the at-bats that he was ended up walking dudes. I mean, they're fighting off pitches. He's going to full counts with these guys.
He threw 28 pitches.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like he was just missing wildly. They were just fighting off and looking for that one pitch. And if they didn't get it, they were happy to foul one off and work a walk. And that's, I mean, ultimately he got out of it, but there was some traffic. And that's something that we're not really used to seeing from Ginkel this postseason because he's been so fucking nasty.
That's why I said it on the last podcast. And you know what? I could feel the fucking brains of the other podcasters who I share the podcast arena with say, what the fuck is this guy talking about? But the Texas Rangers have a deeper bullpen, guys.
You like the Rangers bullpen better?
I mean, this game kind of proved it in a way. I won't say I like him better. I think Seawald.
I like Leclerc, and who do you like better than Ginkel and Seawald?
Look at the 11th inning. They had look at the 11th inning. They had Kyle Nelson out there, and
that's because the Rangers they already used their big guns.
They blew it, but they have a good 3 pitchers who have pitched really great, but it's almost kind of thin. When the Rangers don't have anyone you really really trust, but they have like 10 pitchers
I still trust
kind of trust.
Even though, I mean, whatever, he got worked by Altuve. I don't give a fuck. Like I don't not feel good when he's out there.
Who?
Leclerc.
And they got Dunning came in. He gave him some great innings during the year, was a great starter, and he's not even starting games, so he's out of the bullpen. John Gray
got what, 4 big outs there?
Come on, Martin Perez didn't even touch the fucking mound. Remember that guy?
Yeah, Perez Day, baby.
He was a presence in Major League Baseball at one point. It was only about a year ago.
Last year, he was an all-star.
Come on, dude. Like they have they have some guys. Spores didn't even pitch.
Yeah.
Either the Chapman.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say that's too much of a disadvantage for the Rangers, even though I would say that's their biggest weakness.
So then going into game 2, we've got Merrill Kelly on the mound, Jordan Montgomery on the mound. The fact that Spores, I think let's work backwards. The fact that you have a Chapman and Spores, do you think that Spores can give you 2 innings? Is that the case? We get 2 innings from Spores?
Do you think Leclerc is down because he went 2?
Possibly, just simply because you now look at Spores and say
you got the off day. You got the off day after that.
So you look at Spores and say, if we need to, can you do what we just got from Leclerc? Or is it a matter of maybe Leclerc's a guy who gives you the 2 outs leading into or out of an inning? He doesn't have to go back out and start one. You know what I mean? He's the guy who comes in.
It's also the fucking World Series. Like, I don't think anybody's down.
No, it's just a matter of how you're going to prioritize those guys. So I don't know that if you're down, I mean, if put it like this, if you're down, then that very well may be the time that you go to Leclerc just to try to get you out of that so that you're not using somebody that you feel like you could very well use in a high leverage spot. It just all depends on how they feel like they can line it up.
Also worth noting that Leclerc actually only, quote unquote, threw 26 pitches in 2 innings. And that's pretty in line with some of the work he'd already been doing in this postseason per outing. So like it's not his highest pitch count per outing is my point this postseason. So, and he's got a couple in the 20s. So he didn't, granted, he did not come back and pitch the next day in any of those situations, but in the ALCS, he threw 16 pitches in game 6, came back and threw 24 in game 7. So seems in play.
Yeah, well, I mean, after 16, and this is why the off day thing is important, is because there, after the last game, his 24 pitch outing, it's not like he was going to pitch the day after that. So it's like, hey, we'll burn these bullets. We'll use them now. So that's why he is definitely an option, especially with that off day coming on. But I think, look, this is where the starting pitching for Merrill Kelly or the Diamondbacks and what Merrill Kelly has done is going to be as important as ever because of what happened to the bullpen.
Yeah.
Because Ginkel's 28 pitches over 1 inning feels very different. Very, very different than Leclerc's 26 over 2.
Yeah. That's just max effort, grinding out, like condensed into the same at bats,
just
battling, losing battles. Yeah. I mean, he's a max effort guy. All right. So outside of the big highlight moments, you had the Adolis Garcia walk-off homer after he got hit on the hand or the wrist too, by the way.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that fucking sucks. I mean, Ken Rosenthal asked him after the game. He's like, how bad did it hurt when you got hit? And he's just like, it didn't hurt. It's like, okay, dude. Yeah. I mean, like, if there's anyone playing in this World Series right now, where if you were to ask him how did it feel to get hit by that 98 on the fucking hand, I would say Adolis Garcia is the only person that could say that, and I feel like it's somewhat believable.
Yeah, like, didn't feel it.
Yeah, that's somewhat believable. But the Seager homer, the Garcia homer, what were the in-between things, like some of the things that Jay Hay was mentioning where, the 3rd inning jumped off the page? What were some of the things in this game that stood out?
Well, that's honestly, I think we've touched on them because I think those are
your boy, Marcus Semien. I think even though it wasn't
the sick play.
No, the knock in there was a runner on first. Was it the 10th? Maybe he was facing the lefty and got a knock. I mean, he's had a pretty rough postseason. So just getting him going for a dude that had the regular season. Joe, did you say on the last podcast that he led the team in wins above replacement?
Yeah, according to Baseball Reference.
For a dude that led the team in WAR, led the league, I believe, in fucking hits and runs scored. He hasn't been a factor for the Rangers at all this postseason. If they get Marcus Semien going, that changes the whole dynamic of the Rangers lineup for the rest of the series if he can get locked in.
Well, think about it. Who did I name? I named Semien. I named Young. I named Leody Taveras. And what did we get? I mean, Leody Taveras, nothing. But Young, 2 for 5, right? Yeah. And then Semien, getting in on the action. Granted, 1 for 6, but it's a knock. It's something.
I
Hard ball.
thought Young went fucking yammo on that one fucking ball.
Just not quite enough.
I was out of my seat.
I thought Nathaniel Lowe. I thought it was going to be Nathaniel Lowe that was going to be the one who was going to do the fucking damage, deliver the big blow, because he had just missed a couple times. And it was like, ooh.
Was I thinking Lowe?
Like
did I say Young? Who's the guy who looks like Jock Peterson?
That's Nathaniel Lowe. Yeah,
I meant Lowe. My bad. I was like,
it was early. It would have tied the game. It would have been a 2-run bomb to tie the game, and just got under it. I thought it was gone. I think the cameraman thought that it was gone.
Yeah, that one's fooled me.
Yeah, I think we lost Dallas.
I got a stupid moment that stood out. This is less like tactically interesting and more just funny that it happened. Austin Hedges has like a pretty compelling case as like the worst offensive player in like among active baseball players or in like recent baseball history. And just the fact that he got an at bat, in a absolutely, turns out it didn't matter, but at the time it felt pretty goddamn crucial to the outcome of the game, or at least a spot where it could have been broken open. I thought that was kind of funny because like there was no chance he was getting a hit, and every single fucking person knew that was the case.
Yeah, I mean, like we've seen that a lot. Like the Braves' last at bat came down to Marquise Grissom. I believe the Phillies' last at bat came down to Jake Cave. Yeah, terrible. We've seen some random ass dudes taking the.
Did you say Marquise Grissom? You meant Vaughn, I know, but
did I say Marquise?
Shout out Marquise Grissom, who's actually a clutch as fuck postseason player. But
it is.
I wish he was. I wish he was hitting.
I'm on a lot of pain pills. I'm bad.
Yeah, I'm not nitpicking. It's more just funny.
Yeah, but some of the most important at bats have been taken by a laundry list of what the fuck so far. But
it's all hands on deck, brother. At this point, you gotta rely on the next to you. We gotta fucking go. But honestly, if you're the Rangers, do you need all hands on deck, or you just need fucking Adolis Garcia, dude?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you need all hands on deck. You
just need one guy.
You need your guys. You need your guys that got you there to continue doing what they're doing, which is Seager doing what he's doing and Adolis Garcia doing what he's doing.
You shouldn't have to worry when you're buying tickets to your next big event. GameTime is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their best price guarantee, GameTime takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. Maybe you're a DBacks fan and you're thinking, you know what? I'm going to wait till this series comes back to Arizona before I go to a game. Well, guess what? You just lost game 1, and now you have to win game 2. So my suggestion is get on the GameTime app. It's super easy. Grab some tickets. Go to Texas, watch your team win game 2 before you come home. It might be last minute, but that's GameTime's area of expertise. See the view from your seat before you buy so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. All-in prices show your total up front so you know you're getting a great deal without hidden fees. Buy tickets in seconds with just 2 taps. GameTime has deals on tickets right up to the start of the event and even an hour after it starts. It's the place to find last-minute seats. Find exclusive flash deals and sponsored deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. With zone deals, you pick the section and GameTime picks the seats for an average of 18% savings. And the GameTime guarantee means you'll always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, GameTime will credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with GameTime. Download the GameTime app, create an account, and use code JARED for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code JARED for $20 off. Download GameTime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
One dude we didn't call out though,
who
was part of that crew of doing what they're doing, is Evan Carter.
Yes, yeah.
2 doubles.
Multi-hit game.
Yep. Per Lang's third youngest player with multiple extra base hits in a World Series game, the only 2 younger ever. 2019 Juan Soto and 1996 Andruw Jones. So cool list there. But
those 2 guys were teenagers.
Soto was 20. 20. Jones was 19 years old though. 19 and a half. Really, it wasn't even close.
There you go.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, it was more of the same for the Rangers, to your point. Seager, Carter, Garcia.
Yeah. But I'm just saying,
Garcia.
if Marcus
Garcia,
Semien locks in, it's fucking over, dude.
Well,
like that guy being the dude that he was during the regular season and being, at least from an offensive standpoint, a non-factor. I know he's made a ton of great defensive plays.
I mean, non-factor is being polite too, because if you look at there's been like 20 people in the postseason this year who have gotten 50 or more plate appearances. He is by far the worst offensive performer of that group. It's like 120 points of OPS between him and Bryson Stott.
Yeah, 0 home runs this postseason. And I mean, it even sounds like a stretch for me to be giving as much credit as I am for that one fucking hit.
It is.
It was a single.
It sounds like you're being nice, to be honest.
Yeah, it's not even that I'm trying to give him credit for tonight as much as I'm trying to forecast what could be coming. And that sounds like a wishful thought in its own.
Well, what's your forecast on Evan Longoria, the X factor for the Diamondbacks?
I mean, listen. I love Longo, but Dallas spent 25 minutes telling us about how Evan Longoria was going to be the guy to watch in this World Series.
My favorite part about that too was when I brought up Christian Walker. He was like, "Yeah, that's like a better example of what I'm talking about." But Longoria is the guy where it really could happen too. It's like, well, but what about Walker though?
Yeah.
Hey, Longo got a hit.
Did he?
Yeah, he got one hit.
I'm looking at the box score. I don't remember watching him get a hit, but I'm looking at the box score right now, and it says one hit.
Also scored a run.
Longoria getting a hit tonight.
He scored a fucking
in
run.
the World Series.
Go.
How many
Good
people
call.
can say that?
Not me.
But it did bring me back when they were bringing that like 15 years ago. Think about that, dude. Where were you in 2008? What the fuck were you doing?
Yeah.
In 2008, Evan Longoria with the Rays.
I was there. I was watching Evan Longoria hit 5 fucking home runs in the ALCS. Him and BJ Upton just ruining my back-to-back aspirations in 2008. That was actually crazy. I was at Fenway for Game 5 of the ALCS, a game that no one talks about because the Red Sox didn't come back and win the series. It did go 7, but the Red Sox were down 7-0 in the 7th inning, and they came back and won that game.
Obama wasn't even president yet, dude. The fucking old fuck threw the first pitch. No, the old fuck threw the first pitch. October 2008 that's the election year. So Obama wasn't even on. That's George W. Bush. That's a long ass time ago, dude.
Yeah,
15 years ago.
Seeing W throw out the first pitch was a lot like watching Goldberg versus The Undertaker when they were in their late 60s. It's like, man, like that, like the first pitch in the 2001 World Series by W, like that was the best first pitch of all time. Just pure greatness, can never be topped. And then they brought him back out. I get it. Like he's a staple within the Texas Rangers community. But I mean, he one-hopped it. How old is he? He's got to be in the 70s, right?
Oh my God. That's what I'm saying, dude. I don't, not to get political, but yeah, they were interviewing him like, damn, he got fucking old. You know, he's an old fucking man now.
Not to get political, but he's that old man, he's old now. Yeah.
Right? Like, because you think George W. Bush, what do you think as a baseball guy?
Look it up right now.
He's got to be like almost 80 years old, doesn't he?
I was underwhelmed with his interview with Jeter. I was underwhelmed.
77, dude.
Yeah, almost 80.
I mean, that's younger than. Is that? Oh my God. That's older than Dusty Baker.
I hope I still know what a baseball is when I'm 77.
I'll be doing backflips at 77, but that's just me.
Yeah.
No disrespect to the former commander in chief.
Dallas.
Thank God. Welcome back, baby.
Yeah.
Yo.
Hey.
Power outage.
I think for real.
Yeah, we have rolling blackouts that are about to come because of the Santa Ana winds.
Don't they know the pod schedule?
Yeah,
what the hell, dude?
They don't get the memo. It's the fucking worst, dude. But hey, that's why I got a generator. It just takes a while for that power to kick on.
Yeah, I feel you. If George W. Bush's first pitch in the 2001 World Series, by the way, one of the details that never gets talked about, everyone's just like, yeah, like George W. Bush, 2001, right after 9/11, throws a first pitch bullet right down the plate.
He paints. He fucking paints is what he does.
Did you know that he was wearing a bulletproof vest when he did that?
Yeah. Yep.
Have you ever, I mean, I'm sure Dallas has. You ever worn one of those fucking things? Be able to throw a strike off a big league mound in front when the whole world is watching? I mean, that is one of the most impressive athletic feats I think of all time.
Yeah, and for the record, he's probably not rocking some entry level plates. Meaning it's not like he's not wearing a Coke can out there.
No. That thing's stopping a 50 cal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're gonna need an RPG to take out somebody wearing the kind of shit he's wearing.
Yeah. One of the things that I asked while you were gone, Dallas, besides the Adolis Garcia walk-off, the Seager game-tying homer, what was one of the in-between things that stood out to you in this game?
Well, I do like. I think it was early on the willingness of the Diamondbacks. I don't know that it was like one single moment, but I think it was just a palpable sense of the Diamondbacks saying, we're going to play our brand of baseball. We're not going to kind of wait around. We're not going to feel this thing out. Like we're gonna get after it.
They both at one point said that, right? Like, I mean, like the Diamondbacks dictated the pace and the style, saying, hey, we're going to play our style of baseball where we're aggressive on the base paths. We're going to put ourselves in a position to deploy our bullpen the way that we see fit. And then the Texas Rangers are just like, that's cool. We're going to hit bombs because that's what we do.
Yeah.
And we saw both styles clash.
But and I think it was, and that's why, again, I think as we watch this series start to unfold, you get excited because it's really just, it's like, all right, which one is going to win out today? Are we going to see the Diamondbacks have some guys emerge in their bullpen and do some of the things that, as we've talked about, like, oh, so you're pitching from behind, so you get to run a Will Smith out there. And the reason we run him out there, it's because you're behind. Typically, he's been a guy who, as he is right now in pursuit of his third World Series ring in a row, he's been a part of winning formulas. And for whatever reason, right, whether he's on the plus side of things or he's pitching important innings like he did tonight, where sure, they might not be winning, but you need to keep it close. You can't just throw up a white flag. Well, here's Will Smith. Why? Because the guy's got pedigree in this spot, and here he goes. He gets those outs. And it gives you the chance.
Do you think that they are a little bit shaken up in that DBacks clubhouse right now? Because they could be walking in there saying, we just threw our absolute best at them and we lost.
It would be easy to. It would absolutely be easy to. But that's why I think from a competitor's mentality and if you want to own the moment kind of perspective, if you're Paul Sewald, he understands that I didn't make a pitch. This is what led to the extension of the game. And by proxy, I feel like that's my fault, regardless of who didn't get it done after that. That doesn't matter. I'm the reason why it ended up the way it did. And from there, if you know that that's a different outcome, if Paul Sewald gets those outs, then you're okay with, I guess, swallowing that and moving on. But that's why I said, dude, it is... damn it, you needed to win this one simply because you got the outing from Gallen. That was enough to keep you within striking distance. You were able to turn it over to the bullpen that did what they did, and your offense was giving you enough.
Evan Longoria had that hit that we all remember.
Boom, baby.
Exactly.
Boom.
Scored a run.
Led to. I mean, come on.
That's a tough thing to waste.
You scoff at that. See, like. It is.
Yeah.
It is.
But let's be honest. They've done it without Zach Gallen all playoffs, and they went down 0-2 against the Phils.
That is crazy. Like the fact that they have Zach Gallen and Merrill Kelly at the top of their rotation, and I'm not going to call them non-factors, but they have not won all of their starts. Like they have not been, like when we talk about the Philadelphia Phillies, Zach Wheeler dominated. Aaron Nola dominated. They were reasons why the Phillies got to the point at Game 7, one game away from the World Series. The top two dogs for the D-backs, a team that is not going to score a ton of runs, that doesn't have a big bopper, that doesn't have superstar talent. Their top two starters are not necessarily the reason why they've gotten to where they're at.
Nope.
No, I mean, it's hard to find what the reason is. I mean, it's still looking back on it. I don't know how they beat the Phillies. I really don't.
I don't know.
But they did snakes alive.
Snakes alive, brother.
Maybe that's what did it. But yeah, without Zach Gallen doing what they're doing with the small ball, and even that, it's like, because that's what this team does good, and we saw today for most of the game is the sacrifice bunting, the stealing, timely hitting, whatever.
They're just all over you.
But like in the Phillies series, like they just completely abandoned that for like 4 games. They didn't steal at all.
No.
Well, that's why I said that's my, things that were happening outside of those big moments. That's why I was drawn to that, is because if you didn't see that early, and when it finally emerged, it was enough to push them over the edge, and you're seeing it start to unfold early. Game 1, unfortunately, didn't pan out. That's why you feel like, damn, I hope this loss doesn't feel like 2 of them. I hope you're able to just move on past this and say, hey, no problem, because these guys will get them again tomorrow. Whose hand do we want the ball in tomorrow? We want to put it back in Paul Sewald's hand so that we can go hit that off day and get home and feel good about it.
All right.
We did all right.
We did like a good.
No, we didn't do all right, because guess what? Did we do this whole fucking podcast without mentioning the one fucking guy who is the best baseball player in the world?
Ketel Marte.
No, Adolis Garcia.
How many fucking times do you want me to mention him? I mentioned.
We haven't mentioned him, dude.
I have mentioned him. Jake, how many times would you say I've mentioned?
We talked about Adolis Garcia getting hit. We talked about Ketel Marte getting the world.
He got hit.
What?
Who cares? He got hit. He went 4 for what?
No,
he's got 8 home runs, 22 RBIs. Hit the walk-off home run.
Did you black
He's
out?
He's the best player in the world right now.
What the fuck are you talking about?
This has been discussed. You guys do too many drugs.
I'm glad Joey brought it up, though, because I do have a nug dump on Garcia.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's
because 2 seconds ago said, what are you talking? Did you black out? But thanks. Yeah. You're glad I brought it up.
17th walk-off homer in World Series history. First walk-off home run in a World Series Game 1 since Kirk Gibson in 1988. He set the MLB record for most RBI in a single postseason, passing David Freese in 2011. He tied the Rangers record for home runs in a single postseason, Nelson Cruz in 2011. And he is the second. This nug literally couldn't be any fresher. It is fresh out of the deep fryer. Adolis Garcia is the second player in postseason history with a walk-off homer and a stolen base in a World Series game, joining Kirby Puckett in Game 6 of 1991.
I thought you were going to say Baines. I really thought you were going to say Harold Baines, dude.
You think Harold Baines had a fucking moment like that in his career?
A boy can fucking hope, dude.
Harold Baines' biggest moment is what's going on right now around the country. But that's an off-season topic. I don't want to. This is the Rangers moment, not the Baines meter.
I don't know. Adolis Garcia has carried this team. I mean, 5 games in a row with the home run, 8 home runs, 22 RBIs. He got his first walk of the postseason today, by the way. That's kind of cool. He went all this way without getting. He just got swinging at everything.
Well, as he should be. It's all, he's launching everything. I mean, there has been multiple times, right, where he's come to the plate and you can tell he's trying to hit a home run, and then he does. Like that grand slam in Houston, he was 1,000% up there with one thing in mind, and it is hit a fucking home run. If I hit a grand slam right here, the game is over. And then he did. And then tonight, it's like, hey, I'm hacking at everything, because if I hit a home run, the game is over. And then he did. So, I mean, yeah, there's not enough good things that I could say about Adolis Garcia.
That game right there tells you how locked in he is. That fucking Game 6 when he hit that grand slam is like, if you look back, he struck out
4 times.
4 times. Struck out every time he came to the plate.
Yep.
Didn't give a fuck. Hit a grand slam next day. Hits 2 more home runs and 2 inches from a home run. Pimped a fucking single.
Mm-hmm.
I love Adolis Garcia. I think if you're from Cuba, you're just fucking different. Like in the clutch. Because think about like the clutch postseason players recently. Adolis Garcia. It's clutch as shit this year. Randy Arozarena was the fucking star of the postseason in 2020 and 2021. And every postseason he's played has been lights out. Yordan Alvarez never gets out in the postseason.
I think the list ends when you get to Aroldis Chapman, though.
Aroldis Chapman. I was looking this up during the game, motherfucker. He's got like a 2.2 ERA in the postseason.
There's
so
no
maybe
way. He has single-handedly given up the hit that's lost his team season.
Look it up.
5 times.
Look it up.
Every
Look
year.
it up.
Annually, he would do that.
2.27 ERA in the postseason career numbers. He's pitching the biggest games in the fucking world.
Mm-hmm. He's blown them all.
Cuban players don't care about the big moment. They go ham when it matters most.
Guys, imagine what you can accomplish when you're not distracted by the swampy conditions in your shorts. Dollar Shave Club's ball spray is like deodorant for your balls. It absorbs moisture, reduces chafing, and keeps those rank odors at bay. Not to mention our minty fresh, tingly aroma that lets you know you're fresh, and a precision sprayer that makes application easy at any angle. Get a fresh pair. Visit dollarshaveclub.com to get ball spray today.
All right, we got to take a break and talk about Zyn nicotine pouches. We're always talking about what a team needs to get to number one, but Zyn nicotine pouches are already there. Zyn has helped millions of people achieve lasting change, earning the title of America's number one nicotine pouch. If you're a smoker or you're a dipper looking to make a change, look no further than Zyn. Zyn is made with 6 simple ingredients and is available in a wide range of varieties, including spearmint, citrus, and even coffee. And it's available in 2 strengths so you can control your nicotine satisfaction. Because it's discreet, you can enjoy it anywhere, anytime, so you never have to miss a moment of the game. Plus, every can of Zyn earns you points towards premium items like tailgating gear, top-of-the-line tech, Zyn swag, even gift cards. Find your Zyn at your local convenience store or online at Zyn.com. That's Zyn, ZYN.com. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. All right, we're going to be doing a podcast after all the World Series games to finish out the year. Tomorrow night, or tonight, if you're listening to this, I mean, it's fucking 1 o'clock in the morning, so I'm assuming that you're listening to this on Saturday. You have Merrill Kelly versus Jordan Montgomery, 2 dudes that have ERAs in the postseason of 2.5 or lower. It's going to be a good matchup, lefty-righty. Who do we like for game 2? Jay Hay.
I'm going to stick with the backs. It's this.
Yeah, I think there's going to be an abundance of fastballs from Montgomery, and I think the Diamondbacks' aggressive nature, or the fact that they've committed to being aggressive thus far, maybe that could play into their favor.
Okay. So Dallas goes DBacks. Joseph, who are you going with in game 2? What sound?
He switches mic. Clean it up.
Cowboy.
How many mics you got?
No, that's the wrong sound. I had a different cowboy sound.
You have a different cowboy sound?
Remember, I texted in the group chat.
Oh, yeah, shit.
Jesus.
Yeah.
You came up unprepared. But yeah, I guess Rangers.
You came unprepared.
No, I didn't come unprepared. You did.
I didn't. No.
And if you're talking about my mic switch is really.
Cowboy, baby. I want to be a cowboy, baby.
That's the sound that Joe sent to me. He's like, hey, make sure this plays for me on the next
I
podcast.
want to be a cowboy, baby. I want to be a cowboy, baby.
That's how I'm feeling right now. I've always wanted to be a cowboy, and now we get the moment.
There you
Go
go.
Rangers.
All right. We'll be back after game 2 of the World Series. D-backs, Snakes, Montgomery, Kelly. It's 1-0 Rangers. 3 more wins for them Texas Rangers. Will the D-backs become the answer backs in game 2? We'll find out tomorrow night. See you there.
Wow.